What up, Doc? Come on in. Swipe your feet off at the door when you come on in. That's all I ask. Is that you hit that like button. If you ain't already subscribed, that you hit that subscribe button. And tell a friend to tell a friend. That you tuned in to poetry conversations. I am your host, Rap Talk. We're gonna have a little dialogue. We're gonna talk about Big Gipp. A couple of things that he just said. It's for the real hip hop heads over here. This conversation here is for the heads for real. The people that ain't biased. Cause I'm gonna be honest also. I was watching Big Gipp when he was talking. And he was saying so much about New York being biased. But when I was listening to him, he was sounding just as biased. If that makes sense. But we got a lot to unpack. So just relax. I thank you for tuning in. If you catch this on the replay, that's even better. I do got a call in now. You can call in if you want to chime in and get a couple things off your chest, and if you want to add to the conversation, which is cool. And the number is 248-242-2947. It's 248-242-2947. But of course, I'm going to start the show off with a poem and piece. Spoken word rap talk piece. It's this piece I got called Let's Talk Music. I feel it can correlate with the subject a little bit. We're going to get into it though. Just bear with me and relax. Even though time is valuable. But dig though. It's not that my hip hop was better than yours. But hey, shit, my hip hop was better than yours. Now see, I ain't trying to separate. Cause see, for every crank that soldier boy, there was the Humpty dance. Whipping that nay-nay, hitting the quine to a dude on the corner in some tight-ass Adidas pants and a b-boy stance. But see, we was hip-hop. You see, Salt and Pepper, MC Line, and Queen Latifah all could hold their own. But see, y'all wanted Nikki to stand alone and by another female get knocked off the throne. Bone gave us harmony. Now what a coincidence. Cause see, now that sound like today's R&B. You see, no more love ballads. Just a bunch of rap singing and dudes talking about how high they want to get you and how they want to get the pussy. Listen to me. Snoop had his own gin and juice. The Chronic was finally introduced. Cash Money took over for the 99 and 2000, but her mama was already popping that coochie for Luke. Hell, it's the truth. You see, it ain't nothing new to discover. All the way down to the fashion, to the artist never asking about these demonic ass symbols and borderline gay ass album covers that the 70s started. Question. Why Jeffrey Osborne and LTD on them album covers ain't have on those shirts? Isley Brothers, Isaac Hayes, Al Green, all cleaned up like pimps. Go on your mama basement, wipe the dust off the records and do your research. Cause see, the first to make me think or raise my fists was Chuck and Chris. Red, black, and green before we saw delicious ass Flavor Flav was trying to tell us what time it is. Cause see, we used to rewind shit. See, I was one of them kids in the mirror with the broom. The voice of the streets. Hip hop used to keep us all in tune. See, I'm in love with the culture. But I ain't one of them old heads that's stuck in the past. But lately, y'all been on some bullshit. Mainstream hip hop and kiss my ass. Man, these niggas trash. Only the real gon' last. Rap talk. That's that poem piece. Let's talk music. Snap, 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 snaps. Let's get into this. Let me take a little sip of this tea. It's straight up tea. No alcohol. No LIQ. None of that. Alright, let's get into it. Because there's so many ways we can get into this. First off, let me cut this on. First off, much respect to Big Gipp. That's on top. Goody Mob, ATF, Dungeon Family, the whole crew. And I definitely know by us being older, we have a passion. We have a passion for, especially people that grew up in it and saw all the different changes. Sort of like the poem I just presented. It was different levels, different things we seek to change and grow from. So like I say, first off, Big Gipp, I can hear the passion. You can understand that he's a student. Not only is he an artist, but he's someone that was there, and he have a love for the essence of music, hip hop. And when we speak of essence, we think of the roots, we think of the beginnings. And when it comes to the beginning of hip hop, why not? How can we not think of New York and where it started? And just the whole ordeal of how years went by to where it took for Outkast and a Goody Mob and that powerful statement that they made at the Source Award when they said that the South got something to say. I mean, that's set in stone. That was a powerful moment in hip hop. No matter where you was from or whatever was going on. And not to mention the whole East and West Coast so-called feud was going on at the time. But it was put out there that the South got something to say. So when I listen to Gipp and the Art of Dialogue, the interview that's floating, it's picking up steam. When I listen to him talk, he makes a lot of good valid points. I don't have every just point right here with me, and I can't say them all verbatim. But as I'm presenting this and want to talk about it, there's some things that stood out to me. When he said that Andre 3000 is better than Jay-Z, and he put in a couple lines in there that I think was definitely worth talking about. When he said some things as far as how 3000 don't have to talk about drugs and stuff like that. And I'm not coming in here to the rescue of Jay-Z or nothing like that. But I'm looking at this through a clear lens of somebody who's not from either coast. Let's keep that in mind. I'm from Detroit. So it ain't no New York this or no South this. But I was listening to him, and I'm listening to him with the passion that he's saying. Of course, he's going to be a little bit biased because 3000 is one of his counterparts, you know? He's a friend, he's an artist, he's someone he's synced in he synced 3000 in the moments when he's creating. He's been in that dungeon, he didn't sync them right and create. That's a different type of ordeal when you're speaking on somebody. You're going to speak with a passion, or you're going to introduce some things to the world that others didn't see. But I'm going to talk about it from the outside in. That's a bold statement. Sometimes it's like when you're an artist that's so big and so popular, but you're still good at what you do, I think it becomes harder. It becomes harder to get your credit. It becomes harder to, I ain't gonna say get your respect, because like it was some points that he was saying in that interview. He was saying like how people are looking at Jay and his power and his money, or who he's with. He even threw in Beyonce and a couple things like that, which I'm thinking like, where's all this coming from? Like, I'm like, let's pull away from all that. This man had pure talent. And when I say pure talent, I'm talking about lyrics. How many double entendres do Andre 3000 get? And like I say, I'm from the outside looking in, but I'm just putting this out there for discussion. If we talking music, if we just putting the music on the surface and we talking rap, so we gotta be talking some type of lyrics up in there. How many double entendres do Andre 3000 get? I'm just asking. Somebody can call in and tell me. I love to hear it. I love to just be like, okay, yeah, that's good. And I'm a 3000 fan. I respect them. But when we talk about talent on the surface, I think it's some things that we can take away from 3000, and he wouldn't get as much respect as some people give him. If that's the case, Gipp, let's take away the outfits. Let's take away I don't say they stunts, but let's just take away just take away the whole, what is the Jimi Hendrix look, the whole, let's take all that away, and we just put, even though the first two albums, or the first 1.5, the Southern Playalistic to the ATLs, you know, he didn't really make his transition to dressing like that and going off that way and singing and all those things. But let's take away the image of 3000. Do we still got that perfection? Do we still got that talent that we looking at and respecting, as far as keep in mind, when 3000 did all these things, I feel it was so respected because it was different. Now you got to remember, we coming out of that era when this the 90s, this the mid to late 90s, when creativity really means something, and it stands for something. So it was the time when 3000 did what he did, and we just started seeing him in different outfits, which is pretty normal now. So he can't get credit for that. I get it. Rappers can do that. Rappers can come out with the most outlandish outfit, but still in a way can be respected for what they say on wax. You can get away with it when you don't. But how Gipp was saying, if Jay didn't have Beyonce, we wouldn't be looking at him like this. How does that come into play with Reasonable Doubt? In my lifetime, the blueprint. Now keep in mind, I like both. But we having a conversation. Like I say, I'm on the outside looking in from a whole nother coast. when it comes to these music and these songs and the effect overall, you can't take away nothing from that man and his music. And he also said something which I agree with, that if Biggie was, no, what he said was, being that Biggie and Jay was right there close with each other, if Biggie was here, Jay probably wouldn't have been as big as he was. I always say that. A lot of us agree with that. Because he was right there next to him or a little bit under, but he was on his way. I agree with that. And then he also said that Jay ain't got no album that's better than Life After Death. Which is commercially true, but it's debatable. But I asked this question, and I'd love to have an answer for this. What Outkast album is better than Reasonable Doubt? I mean, I clearly want to know. I think that's something people can really marinate on. Like if you were a student, that's why I say if you were a student. I mean, I'm just asking. And I'm an Outkast fan. But what Outkast album is better than The Blueprint? Now, please don't give me that old 5 mics just because it stank, just because Aquemini was 5 mics. No, we're not about to go with that whole New York blessing of a criteria factor and credits of and perks of getting the 5 mics to try to compare that album with Blueprint or Aquemini not even Outkast's best album to me. But even though The Source gave it that acclaim, which definitely is a big factor in hip hop, especially at that time, a South album getting 5 mics in a magazine that's predominantly biased, as Gipp say, I understand. So to be the one to say, or to ask the question, no, he didn't even ask the question, he just said that ain't no J album better than Life After Death. I'm just reversing it to ask, what Outkast album is better than The Blueprint? I'm curious, I really want to know. Now, it's something that's up there as far as sales and all that. You can go by sales. You got to think Outkast is a real big group. It's 2 of them, they're big. They're a group that sells. Not only do they sell records, they sell image. They sell. You got 3,000 over here. He got lyrics, but he got theatrics. And shit, you talk about Jay having Beyonce, he had Badu. That's a combination. Badu ain't no slouch. I'm saying she ain't no Beyonce, and she ain't no, but you know, Badu was running neo soul, especially back then. So there was a combination. That's a big factor. That's a clutch of a whole nother audience. You pull it that 3,000 and pull in, and that whole association with the Baduism and the whole just that whole energy. You knew what was going on at the time. I mean, we just talking about it. So we have a Outkast. We have the South. Powerful. I agree. But to say that 3,000 is better than Jay and Jay didn't deserve to be on that list, that's where it all started from too, them lists. I don't know why people get caught up in all these lists, but it's always one to come out like every other year or every other 8 months. I forgot who did this one exactly. Was it Billboard? One of them. I didn't even look at the list to tell you the truth because I don't even cater to them because all they do is just stare up topics like this. That's exactly what they always do. And everybody pick them apart. For the people who make it and the people who didn't make it, and some deserve it. But criteria is criteria. But which I did hear Jay-Z was number one. But when you factor in all this, but we just right now we just talking 3,000 and Jack. That's what the conversation is today. $3,000 still has some improvement to do to me. He's good. 3,000 is good. But I think it's so many intricate factors that make 3,000 good. It's not even that he's a straight up just lyricist. I mean, he is a lyricist, don't get me wrong, but when we talk South and rappers and lyrics, it's like a how can I explain this? Like when we have Scarface. Okay, let's say you got the Ghetto Boys. You got Scarface. You know he can rap better than Willie D. You know he can rap better than Bushwick. But they don't even talk the same. They don't even, you know that Scarface is more of a storyteller. You know he's more respected as a lyricist, being from the South. But that same rapper, if Scarface was from New York, that same respect probably wouldn't be there. It'd be like, okay, he's a good rapper, but he's supposed to be rapping this way or that way because he's from New York. So basically what I'm getting at is when it comes to a 3,000 with certain artists, people walk in listening with a demeanor of thinking, okay, I'm gonna give you this much of an edge more if you do rhyme real good and put stories together, and if you is that good and you from the South, you want to get more respect because we're not even expecting the South to even just come like that. I mean, that's really what it was. That's really what it was. It really was a disrespect. So when you have a 3,000, a lot of people don't even understand that some of these Southern artists, they can even, it's just their whole dialect. When they rap, they could put certain words together that others can't just by the way that they talk. I mean, it's really down to a science like that. Go listen to some of 3,000 raps and some of the words that he rhymed. He can get away with it because, I don't want to use the word country, but it's Southern. They can curve certain words to, and if the style is good, it's going to get you. So 3,000 do put itself in a category to where, first of all, he is missed. He's missed. But will he come back? And if he come back, will he have that same effect that he had then? That's to be seen. How many times have Jay let off the gas and just didn't come back with a dog or some nice songs? Now I will admit this though, when it comes to Jay. And see, here's one thing we have to factor in too also. You could be a good rapper and you could be talented and not have a classic album. Or all your albums don't be good. I don't like every Jay-Z album. Every Jay-Z album is not solid. But he do got some songs and some albums that you will never forget. And he got some songs that is going to stand the test of time. So just because you're a good artist, that don't mean that you got a classic album that you sitting on some mega hits like that. Because sometimes every now and then somebody might just drop a dud. It happens. Jay-Z did it a couple of times. But one thing I can say, every time Jay-Z dropped a dud, that next one was a classic. Look at the catalog. Drop that S dot. A little shaky. Blueprint. Kingdom Come, a little shaky. Black Album. What's that one? The one he did with Sprint, the Holy Grail or all that. A little shaky. 444. Where's 3000? The 3000. Now don't get me wrong. The Love Below, love the album. It's talent. It's talent. But I think we got to get away from this whole just because we different or just because we don't be seen as much, just because we over here in this little corner and we a little nonchalant and we just peek in and peek out when we want to, that we deserve the respect to be called better than everybody. You gotta deserve and earn these spots. Over time. Not just these 5 years over here. Not just when ATL's album popping and Stankodia. Not just that. I'm talking about over time. I'm talking about when people know that, okay, if you drop something next year, it's a real good chance that you about to come with something that's worth listening to. Not just living up the energy of the past and just being that, living off your name. I mean, that's what a lot of rappers and people doing right now. That's why they still touring. Because they touring off the old shit. And I'm a student, I'm a fan. Even the Goody shit. I went to go see the Goody Mob when they came. I love Goody Mob. They still touring. I went to that shit. That shit comes to Detroit, I was there. I fucking Soul Food arguably one of my, that's definitely in my top 20 all-time albums. Soul Food. Shit, to be honest, I used to argue with some of my friends about Soul Food being better than Southern Playalistic. That's just my opinion. Soul Food is better than Southern Playalistic. Now ATL, I don't know. I might give Soul Food the edge over ATL too. But Gipp, man, you said a mouthful, bro. I'm just curious how the people feel about it. You can put your comments down in there. Like I say, we can take away the money. If we're gonna take away all the money and the Beyonce and the fame and all the different business ventures and all that stuff Jay got, let's come over here in 3000. Let's take away the outfits. Take away the guitar. Fuck it. Take away the guitar. And rap. And two men just rap, just bar up. Like I say, 3000 is cold. He cold at what he do. And he say some positive shit. Don't get me wrong. And I think that was one of Gibb's gripes too, that he was giving it 3000 because he don't have the same subject matter as Jay. But 3000, just as he talked the Love Below, and of course we want the positive. I respect it. I love it. But don't act like Jay ain't make no song cry. But don't act like he ain't got these stories over here about just love and just things that can happen. And I mean, it's all about your delivery and how you want your music presented to you. And that's why I'm speaking on it from the outside of each coast. Not being from New York or not being from the South. It's a conversation that can be had. And again, I go back, 3000 say some prolific shit, but the way it come out is not super prolific. And it's nothing against the things that he say. But just imagine putting words and a lineage together that just like I say, them double entendres that JB dropping off, man. Come on, man. It's kind of like what he say. He said, do y'all listen to music? Do y'all just skim through it? I mean, even when he talking street shit, it's like it still don't come across like a Spice One, and that's no disrespect to Spice One, but it's not just right there in your face. It's words and sentences you can go listen to right now on reasonable doubt that you will still catch today and be like, damn, he said that, but the way he said that, he said it to an effect to where it wasn't just that simple. It's kind of like Illmatic. Like when you still go back and listen to Illmatic, I don't want to throw Nas in this too much because we talking Jay and 3000. But that shit ain't simple. It ain't simple to write a sentence and like I say, them double entendres. I'm talking about shit saying one line. You think he talking about this? He talking about three different things at one time in a sentence. How many times have 3000 did that? 3000 can rap, and he say some thought-provoking shit. I get it, but it's his demeanor, it's his style, it's his voice, it's the way he he enunciate and all that shit get us. Especially when you from another coast and you ain't from wave. That's the way that whole South shit just built up so much energy and momentum anyway, because it was just new to us. And just think, if you got a whole group of, let's just say for instance, a whole bunch of New Orleans rappers rapping one way, you all know they are from the South, but then you got a person like 3000 come through. Of course he's gonna get respected. Why do you think we gave T.I. so much respect? And T.I. from the South, but the way he rapped and enunciated, and you was like, you thought to yourself like, he really can rap. And it was that hindrance of being from the South to where it's like either he can work for you or against you. Because most of the time we was looking at the South rap like, okay, he's gonna be kind of simple, but we gonna listen, but we like, okay, where you going with this? 3000, like I say, he got some positive shit and he got some good shit, but as far as wordplay, just straight up on some, how Jay do it? Come on, kid. I understand that's your man and you close to him. You probably seen them sweating his braids out on the floor writing that shit, so you got a personal connection. I get it. And I respect it. You was there. You was there to see it all progress and come out. That's personal. But to say 3000 over Jay, like this band don't deserve to be. Let me hit 3000 on the song Solo, make a global hit, make a big hit. That straight up rap. I mean, I need a handful, because he can probably do one, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna throw some singing up on it or something. That was 3000 forte a little bit, the singing. Now I understand talent. You got to understand when he's doing these things, we're gonna respect it as talent because it's different. He's always gonna get respected. I mean, the whole look, the whole demeanor, when he started dressing different and all of that, that was a persona. Like I say, you saying take away all these different things from Jay, let's take away the clothes from 3000. We're gonna still look at him as artsy. We're gonna still give him that much prestige without those outfits or without going against the grain at the time that he did. Would he still get the same respect just for the songs on the surface and that's it? I mean, let's hold those two things at the top tier. Just the straight up music, that's it. The lyrics. And not to mention he was in the group. That's easier being in the group. It's easier. Not saying to take away from anything, because he still got to hold his own. But when you in a group, you can lean on your man a little bit. And Big Boy ain't no slouch. When we talk Outkast, we always throwing 3000, and of course we throwing 3000 in because he was that look. He was that Yeah, him. He the chosen one. That was him. Look how he carried himself. All that stuff is important when you're an artist. You can find yourself in a whole other class from everybody else just by the way you carry yourself. And that's what 3000 did. We always gonna respect him for that. But we gotta hear something today, dog. I'm sorry. But I respect both though. I love to hear y'all comments and how y'all feel about what Big Gipp said as far as 3000 being better than Jay-Z. I get it. I need more music. I need something today. I need that longevity. 3000 got longevity within his catalog that we can always play. But if the two was to say we dropping an album next month, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like when you are good, but you've been away so long and you still just riding off your name. I get it. Okay, it's kind of like comedy. If Eddie Murphy go on tour in June, he's going to sell some tickets just because of his name, of course. But is it going to be polished, or have we seen him doing a couple of skits here and there to know if he still got it? That's how we feeling about 3000. He's always going to be respected. I get it. Both MCs will, in their own right. They deserve that. But 3000 over, I'm talking about wordplay. I'm talking about, we got criteria. You got delivery, you got cadence, you got subject matter. I mean, your whole presence, all that plays a factor. Don't take nothing from that man because he's rich and can rap. I'll get with y'all in a minute, though. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Poetry and conversation. I only gave y'all one poem today at the top, which is cool. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Rap talk, poetry and conversation. But shout out to the Art of Dialogue. Y'all go check that channel out. And matter of fact, and he's a brother too. We gotta boost his channel up to compete with y'all know who. I don't even want to say his name. Not saying that it gotta be competition, but a lot of y'all artists who big names, y'all go on that man platform instead of the other man platform. But I'm glad he gaining a lot of bit of steam lately with his channel. So check out Big Gipp, the Art of Dialogue. He got a lot going on. He said a couple other things, but I can't bring up everything right now. But I definitely want to bring up that Andre 3000 being better than Jay. But y'all tell me how y'all feel during the comments. I appreciate y'all. Always remember, never be afraid to dream. I'll get with y'all in a minute. Rap talk.